Shalom. This is Baka Yaramana, and um, this video came across my feed concerning the children. Right? I think this is some very interesting information in order to force people into making a decision in order to get their children back to take the unique barcode system of the radio frequency identification chip and the coronavirus vaccination shot that has been amalgamated into two separate shots over a 10-day period. Pay attention. This is the mark of the beast foretold in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16.
First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, just wanted to, bring some clarification. I just did a video, okay, which I put it on private temporarily, or until further notice. This video right here, okay, British Army to begin testing children without parental consent. All right, and that was from this website right here, okay, which says offguardian.org, and then you have theguardian, all right, .com, which, a brother, all right, I put in a group chat, all right, and brought it to my attention. Like there's these two articles that are basically, this article says one thing, and in this one, it's basically saying, so let me just go into it, right? As we read in this article, they were basically saying that they were going to send the army to test children, all right, in certain schools without or prior to their parents, okay, knowing, basically without their parental consent, and barcoding them as well. Okay, now in this article, it says here, Army to carry out mass COVID-19 tests on children in Liverpool. It says parental consent required as tests offered to all pupils in the city over the age of 11. Okay, now I want to see if they give a date for when this article is published. Nonetheless, it could be the case, all right, that in this article, as we're going to read in this article here, it says that they claimed there was an error, so they had to unsend those letters, because in the article here, they show you, all right, that it was a letter from the school, okay, that was sent to parents and households and so on and so forth, okay. So it says here, the army is being sent to help carry out mass testing of children in secondary schools in Liverpool this week. Now, regardless of what they say, at the end of the day, it's going to get to the point where they're going to do it regardless of your consent or not. But right now it's for damage control. Okay, they don't want it to seem as though it's tyrannical just yet. All right, they do it through gradualism. You see, when you have the frog, all right, in warm water, and you're slowly turning up the heat, you don't want to just turn it up all the way, because it's going to notice and jump out. So you have damage control where you, all right, so as I was saying, you have damage control. They try to use that, try to limit, reduce the panic as much as possible. Right now it says testing is due to begin in about a dozen secondary and special schools. If parents provide consent, pupils over the age of 11 will be tested twice over a 10-day period as part of the UK's first mass COVID testing trial. All right, which is just dealing with tests, but when the actual vaccine comes out, it'll be much different. Okay, but notice how they bring in the army, but then they try to make it all nice and cool. Oh yeah, so long as we have your consent, then we're gonna test your children, so on and so forth. But as the numbers go up and the winter gets harsher, it's gonna start going from recommended and permissible to mandates. All right, just wait till that vaccine comes out, which they're anticipating around December, but we have to watch and see that as well. It says schools selected for testing have begun sending out letters to parents. One from Broad Green International School caused alarm when it said that due to challenging and unprecedented circumstances, it would not be possible to gain parental permission in the normal way. Instead, parents would be required to opt out by letter, and that's what this article or this letter was basically saying. Okay. It says each child would be identified with a unique barcode it said. And if a positive test was received, the school would secure the individual concerned before identifying others who had been in close contact, who would then need to self-isolate. Liverpool City Council said the letter was inaccurate and no child will be tested without parental consent. We didn't have sight of this letter before it was sent to parents, a spokesman said. Due to inaccuracies within it, it has now been withdrawn by the school. But notice what they said. They said, the city council said the letter was inaccurate and no child will be tested without parental consent. But if they were able to decline that part, why didn't they mention anything about the children being barcoded? You know? Why didn't they mention, all they said was no child will be tested without parental consent. So does that mean that if the parents give consent, you're still going to barcode them? Because that's a little unusual. But like it says, due to inaccuracies within it, it has now been withdrawn by the school. Okay. Once again, it sounds like a lot of damage control. You know, you don't want to spook people and get them all antsy, because there's a lot of anti-lockdown, anti-coronavirus protests going on, and they don't want to spark some or add more fuel to the fire. It says we are working closely with schools and our partners involved in the mass testing program to make sure the process in schools is as smooth as possible. All right, and as you can see, okay, look at how the cases are spiked. So you're seeing the trend, right? So as we get into December, January, February, the numbers are going to keep going up, and soon it's going to be no more questions asked. All right, and when the vaccine comes out, we'll see exactly how they want to take this. All right, it says the spokesman said the military would provide logistical support in setting up and running the tests, and the council was working with public health services and school nursing services to facilitate the program in schools. It says the plan is first to roll out testing in all secondary schools in Liverpool, but experts are also looking at whether it could be extended to primary schools. There are 130 primary schools in Liverpool, so it would be quite a logistical challenge, the spokesman said. So it's sort of like a test run in Liverpool. They're using Liverpool as a test run, okay? And they're trying to get people accustomed to having the army out and having them hands-on in dealings with coronavirus. Okay, it's called desensitizing the mind. And the more and more people get used to that, slowly but surely, they start getting more and more involved. The army starts having the ability to do more and more. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else. It says children have already suffered extreme disruption. If you've got the army coming in, or actually, let me start here. Alison Pollock, professor of public health at the University of Newcastle, expressed unease at the mass testing of children. Notice how they're going for the children, because the children make the parents vulnerable. She said, screening is a very complex intervention. It has to be a part of a very well thought out program. It has not been thought through. Children have already suffered extreme disruption. If you've got the army coming in, you've got psychological distress and physical trauma of having a test, and you've got the potential for stigma if you are positive. Exactly. You know, they're going to look at you, Tommy got it. Tommy got the Rona. It says, Liverpool's Director of Public Health, Matthew Ashton, said, the more of us who get tested, the more we can stop the spread of COVID-19 in our city. We are saying to people, let's do this for our families, our cities, our Liverpool, and that includes our young people. All children aged between 11 and 18 years old, where the appropriate record consent is provided, are eligible for the test. We are inviting the young people in our city to take part in this process and be a part of this groundbreaking initiative. And you got to understand, when they first introduce these things, they can't just straight off the bat mandate it. All right, they need to ease you into the water. First, you got to catch the frog and put it into the water, on the pot, on the stove, okay, before you can start to turn up the heat. You know, you can't just grab the frog, throw it in the hot. It's gonna jump out. Okay. Now this is let me get that, Psalms 55 and 21. It says here, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So they make it seem as though, yeah, no, calm down. The letter that was sent is not, you know, it's inaccurate. it's not what we're planning to do. Really, what they mean to say is we're not there yet. Okay, so that's why they had to retract that letter. We're not there yet. Okay, and they're slowly going to ease their way there because they have to go with the flow and the rhythm of the cases. All right, they got to go with that in the case numbers. Okay, but notice how they're taking more and more severe measures the closer and closer you get to the vaccine. Okay, it says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, so that means that look, you gotta really listen to how they say these things, man. They say certain things certain ways, and they actually mean one thing, but based on how they say it, you might think that they're actually saying something else. All right, and that's why the scriptures say, "Be not ignorant of any matter, small or great." All right, you gotta be watching and be sober minded. Okay, because things are about to get hot. Okay, how about Shemel Shai is turning things up, man. Okay, and it may seem quiet for a while, but that's why the scriptures talk about sudden destruction. Okay, and when they start, they won't stop. All right. So with that, I hope you were edified. Okay, just to bring that out. That's why I put this video on private for now. Okay, and we're just gonna keep watching and seeing. All right, going through these articles. There's a lot of information that comes out nowadays. All right, so we gotta really look through. All right, and make sure that it's accurate information. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.